the best character comebacks in bluelock ranked. Now you guys are probably wondering what character comebacks really means. Honestly, it's just a fancy word I like to use for things such as Barou's awakening, Chigiri's awakening, Kaiser's new awakening happening, someone who's at the rock bottom and is now risen up. Since this is a reoccurring thing in bluelock and since it recently happened with Kaiser, I decided that I should rank him and make a video about him. So if you guys like this type of content, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the post notifications bell. And yeah, let's get right into this. Coming in last place, and that does not mean by any means that this is a bad one or anything like that. It's just I was way more emotionally invested into the ones ahead of this one. Coming in last place is Kaiser's. Now, I know this is the most recent one that's happened in bluelock. And listen, Kaiser's is well written, well executed, and I feel like it's well done. I was also one of the people saying that he wouldn't score. I guess I was wrong. My bad. I'll take the L on that. All right. I take L's. Everyone takes L's. But anyways, I feel like this one doesn't really hit as hard as the other ones where, yeah, we did see Kaiser at rock bottom for like a game, you know, where he was just getting shit on. Maybe a couple of chapters where he was just getting trashed on, right? Like we did see him at rock bottom at that point. But in my opinion, throughout the whole series since Kaiser was introduced, I looked at him like an antagonist, like someone I shouldn't really like, someone I shouldn't be on the side of. You know what I mean? I looked at him as a force against the people I was rooting for, so I wasn't really messing with him like that. Yeah, he had a cool ability. Yes, he was a cool character, and yes, he still is a cool character, but it's not like I should be rooting for him. Then when we got his backstory, I guess it made me feel a little bad for him because, you know, bro had a really bad, tough past. But then he ends up becoming just like his father, which makes him like pretty bad to me. Like in my opinion, yes, he didn't get to control who his parents was, but also the thing is Kaiser is just like, I don't feel like I can get emotional for a guy just off the fact that, you know, like, oh, his parents were bad, but he also turned bad, but it's because of his parents. You know, I don't know if I can get emotional for a guy like that. On top of that, we haven't really seen too much of Kaiser's vulnerable side. I feel like I would like to see what type of person he becomes after this shot. Not gonna lie. I'd like to see his full development after this shot. But for right now, he's last place due to just less emotional connection. Coming in next is Barou Shoei. Now, Barou is someone I do have an emotional connection with. Someone I like a lot as a character. And someone who, since the beginning of bluelock, kind of like Kaiser, came in as a powerhouse, as an antagonist, right? But then the thing with Barou is he's not so low that he'd just like be manipulating his friends and shit like Kaiser did to Ness. He's not that low, you know. Barou has morals, and he's a respectable guy, you know. Like everyone treated him as a king since he was a kid, so he just adopted that mindset. Like I'm the king, all these guys are side characters in my role. I feel like that's a cool concept, you know what I mean? And then when we see Isagi absolutely destroy him, like literally taking puzzle pieces. Let's say he's taking the puzzles off the board one by one from Barou. He's taking them off. He's completely dropped Barou to ground zero. At this point, Barou is ground zero. He's gotten disrespected so much. He's even been willing to stoop to the points to pass the ball to Isagi. And he realizes that for the first time in his life, he's in the supporting cast. He's not in the main cast. He's not the main character. And that's when the major development happens of this guy retaining his new villain mode. You know, he could have passed that ball. That moment of suspense when he's about to pass the ball and just give in to his fate. A lot of shows, someone would have passed the ball there and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to become a team player. But not Barou, bro. This is bluelock. And bluelock early on really emphasized that it's about egoism, doing the best for yourself. And that this match wasn't so much about, oh, well, Barou was too much of a selfish player. He has to learn how to play as a team. It's more about accepting loss. Once you experience loss, how are you going to grow with it? And that's exactly what Barou did. So I really messed with this. It gave me chills down my spine. And honestly, yeah, man. Coming in at number 2 on this list is my boy Isagi. I know you guys are probably wondering, what are you guys talking about? Isagi's been knocked down plenty of times. Which time are we talking about? I'm specifically talking about when he's devastated when he loses to Rin, and it's only him and Nagi left in the second selection. I feel like this is one of the lowest points we've seen Isagi in throughout the story, because at this point, first selection he comes in, he's already low because he doesn't feel like, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't feel like he belongs there. Doesn't feel like he's that good because he just lost the nationals and everything. Like he couldn't make it to nationals. But then he ends up doing that thing to Kira and he gains his confidence back. And throughout every game in the first selection, he starts gaining his confidence back little by little. Although he did get crushed by Barou, but he did come back the next game, right? So Isagi in the first selection was not that bad. His confidence was at an all-time high. He was putting in goals left and right. But then we go to the second selection, and he gets Nagi on his team. Someone who he deems as probably the best player he's seen so far, right? So literally, he's with him, Batra, and Nagi. He's like, yo, how can we lose with this team? And he runs into someone so unbeatable. Itoshi Rin at this point was so unbeatable. They absolutely destroyed Isagi so badly, bro. This is where Isagi realizes that, listen, I can't make it past second selection like this. Like how I am right now, I can't. I have to get better and better. Because before I was relying on Kunigami, Batra, Chigiri. I had some great teammates. I don't have those teammates anymore. I need to create for myself. I need to learn things that'll better myself. And what did he do in the Naruhaya game? Naruhaya was giving Isagi works at this point. That's how you know he's at his lowest. But in the Naruhaya game, Naruhaya fails to adapt, and Isagi ends up adapting. But it's the very next game where I think Isagi's evolution in this arc really comes alive, where he plays against Ryo, Kunigami, and Chigiri. So this is notable comp. And he's literally destroying Barou while also destroying those three. He's using Barou as a light for his shadow to go in the blind spot. He's telling Barou to pass him the ball. He's calling him an idiot. Bro, Isagi was on bad timing, and this is one of the best comebacks I've seen throughout the story. I'm not even going to lie. Emotionally, it was getting me hyped. I was very happy to see the main character I've been rooting for, who was crying on that bike way back in the first chapter, is now up and doing all this crazy shit to some of the best players in the series who previously beat him. Come on, sign me up. Isagi, you got number 2, man. Honestly, but we're moving on to number 1. If you know me, you know that this will be a number 1. But yeah, I know this might be a curveball for some of you, but Chigiri's comeback is definitely the best comeback I've seen in Blue Lock so far. The reason for this is, if you guys didn't know, I've torn my right ACL. I used to be a footballer back in my day, but just like Chigiri, I ended up tearing my right ACL, and that led to the end of my career. But when I read Chigiri's whole backstory, his whole comeback for the first time, I kid you not, I shed a tear. I shed a tear. The amount of impact this shit had on me, where Chigiri just gets up from his chains, breaks them, and says, I don't care if my leg breaks anymore. I don't care. I'm going to get to enjoy what I like doing for one last time. Bro, Chigiri, you touched my soul in that time. This is undoubtedly the best comeback I've seen. On top of coming back like this, he literally speed blitzes. This is the most incredible speed we've seen throughout all of the story so far. And he literally pulls it out of absolutely nowhere. We had no idea. Team Z against the wall. And the good thing I like about this game is it's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about football. There's 3 outcomes: a draw, a loss, and a win. So the author can be unpredictable with this shit when he actually makes an actual game and shit, right? So it's like, bro, oh my gosh, the amount of suspense that was building up, that oh, our team's he gonna lose? Chigiri's old backstory making me emotional. Damn, I actually care about this character. I want to see him succeed. Him succeeding being cool as hell, and then after that, he's even cooler. Bro, this is an easy number 1 spot for me. Let me know if you guys disagree in the comments. But yeah, guys, anyways, we all know when Nagi comes back, that'll eventually be the number 1 comeback in all of Blue Lock history. But let me know what you guys think is some of the best comebacks for characters in Blue Lock history. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Make sure to like and subscribe. Dunno.